So now it's time to start with the CSS part of the project, which is the note taking application. So for that, we need to use the style.css file, and this style.css file is already linked with this particular link tag. So we need to come to this particular style.css file. And inside of the style.css file, first I'm going to reset the universal selector. So I'm going to select the universal selector. Instead of that, I'm going to select the padding and setting it to 0. And then we need to select the margin. So set the margin to 0, and then we need to use the box sizing property to border box. Okay, so you can see now the default styling of the browser is actually changed. Then I'm going to provide the color to the body element. So I'm going to select the body element, and here I will be using the background attribute because I want to use the linear gradient. And inside of the linear gradient, I'm going to start with the to right, and then we need to specify the comma. Then I will be providing here RGB, and instead of that, we need to provide the color, which is 242, 112, and then 156. And then we need to provide the comma, and then again we need to provide the RGB, and instead of that, we need to provide 255, 148, and then the value, which is 145. Control save it. You can see now the styling of the browser is changed with this particular linear gradient function. Now it's time to select the main, which is the main container. So if I come back to the HTML, and here you can see this is the main. I have specified the ID here. So we need to here use the hash symbol because it is an ID selector. So that is the reason. Then we need to start its block of the code. And inside of the main, first I need to provide the minimum height. So minimum height is going to like 100 VH. Alright. And then we need to provide the padding. So padding from bottom, because I want padding from bottom, that is this one. So if I just provide here a 50 pixel, which is a padding from bottom, and after that I need to here provide the display property. So display is going to like flex, and inside the display property we need to use the flex wrap. So if I no use flex wrap, then if I just simply here add bunch of elements, if I didn't use flex wrap, then it's going to actually display all the nodes in just only one line in a horizontal way. So with the use of the flex wrap, we can actually get these elements as soon as the screen is completely filled up. You can see if there is no space, then it's automatically going to adjust the next element to the another row depending upon the viewport of the browser. So if I come back to the other version of the application, now here we need to also use the justify content. So justify content is going to be the center. You can see now the elements, which is this particular node, is actually shifted to the center of the screen. And after that, I need to use the align items. So align item is going to be like a flex start. Okay, so this will be the code for the main, which is the main container for this particular node sticker. Now we need to style this button, which is the add button. So we need to provide the style code for this particular button because we want to display this button at the right side of the browser. Alright, so we need to select the browser. So coming back to the HTML part of the note taking application, so it is also an ID. So we need to use the hash symbol because it is an ID selector. Then to start its block of the code, and inside of the add button, we need to first set the position. So position is going to be like fixed because we want to fix this text, means this button at the right side of the browser window. Doesn't matter if I scroll if I enter here multiple node sticker, then you can see if I scroll to the bottom of the web page, still this button is actually present at the right side of the browser. So that is because of this particular fixed property. So coming back to the other version of the application, after specifying the position to fixed, then we need to use the right. So from right we want to display a 10 pixel, and from top we want to display 10 pixel as well. You can change these properties as per your need. Now you can see the button is actually moved to the right side of the browser screen at the top right corner. Alright, and after that we need to provide the background color because we want to display the button in a form of green. So that is the reason we need to here use the background color property. Now you can see the color of the button is changed. Then we want to remove the border property. So border we want to set it to 0, or you can even set it to none. Then I need to specify the outline. So outline is going to be like none, and similarly we want to display the border to be none. Then you can see the outline and the border is removed from the button. Then we need to specify the padding. So padding is going to be like 10 pixel, and I want to display the text to be like background, means the color, not background. We want to use the color which is used to change the color of the font. So I want to display the white color. You can see now the styling of the button is changed. Then we need to use the border radius property. So border radius is going to be like 5 pixel because we want a little rounded corner of the buttons. Then we need to change the cursor to pointer, and after that we want to change the transitions. That is this one, which is background color. We want to change the background, and this is going to be like color, and after that we want to provide 0.3s is going to be like ease. Alright, then we need to change the hover state of the button. So I'm going to copy this id selector here, then closing its block of the code, and after that here I'm going to provide the pseudo class element, which is hover state of the, which is the hover node state, which is the hover of the button. Alright, and instead of the hover button we need to provide the background color, means the hover code. So we need to change the color to, so I'm going to provide here, not this one, this is actually the same color, so it is going to like 06A006. Now if I control save it, if I hover it, then you can see the color of the button changed to little light version of the green color. So this is what we want to achieve. And after specifying the color code, then it's time to specify the style for this particular node so that it will looks like this. Alright, so here coming back to the style.css. So inside of that, first we need to select the node. So coming back to the index.html, so here it is actually a node class. So I'm going to copy this class. It is a class selector, so we need to use the dot and then into start its block of the code. Inside of the node we need to provide the background. So first I'm going to provide the background to transparent. Alright, and after that we need to here use the margin. So margin is going to like 15 pixel from all sides, and then we need to use the border radius. That is this property, border radius is going to like 10 pixel. Okay, and after that we need to use the overflow hidden. If I control save it, you can see we get the rounded corner because this particular icon is cut it out little bit. That is the reason the code is applied. After that we need to provide the code for the tool. So the tool is actually this particular one. This is actually a tool. Alright, so coming back to the index.html, so copy this class name from here and coming back to the style.css. So here we need to use the tool, then to provide the code inside this particular tool. So first we need to provide the background color. So background color we are going to use here hash. We want a little darker version of the black. Okay, so if I control save it, you can see the color is applied to the button, means the tool of the nodes sticker. Okay, and then we need to provide the color, which is the, we want to use the font color. So font color we want is a white one. You can see now the color of the icons is actually changed. Then we need to provide the padding. So padding is going to be like 5 pixel, and then we need to provide the display to flex. If I control save it, you can see there is a changes applied inside this particular node sticker. And after that we need to provide the justify content, which is actually a flex end, because we want to display these two icons at the end of the tool. Okay, which is this particular tool container. After that we need to style these icons because it is actually present under this tool division. So coming back to the style.css, so first we need to select the tool again, and then we need to select the I, which is the icons tag, and then here inside of that first we need to provide the padding because right now they are very close to each other, so we need to provide some padding. So 5 pixel. Now you can see there is a difference between these two, and then we need to provide the cursor to pointer whenever we hover over these particular icons. So we want to display it in a pointer one. Okay, so if I hover it, then you can see the color is actually, means the cursor is actually changed to pointer one. And after that we need to provide the transitions. So here we need to use the transition color, and this is going to be like 0.3s, and it is going to like ease. Control save it, and if I hover over it, then you can see there is a hover effect is applied, but means the transition is not applied because we want to use the hover also. So tool, then we select the I, then column, then we need to use the hover, and then we need to start its block of the code. After that we need to provide the color and hash symbol, then a, then we need to provide the ACA1A1. Control save it, and now if I hover it, then you can see the color of these particulars are actually now changing. After that we need to modify this particular text area which is under the node. So if I come back to the index.html, so under the node we have this text area tag, so we need to provide the style code for this text area. So we need to select the text area. So first we need to select the node, then we need to select the text area, and then we need to start its block of the code. Instead of that, I'm going to select the width. So width is going to like 300 pixel. You can see now the width is changed, and I think I have actually added the 100% zoom. So yeah, it is actually the 100% zoom of the web browser. Okay, so you can change these dimension as per your need. Then we need to provide the border. Node break, we need to use the border. So border, we want a border to none. Means we want to reset the border to none. You can see now the border of the text area is removed. Okay, if I just remove this property here, save it, you can see there is a border, and if I just use this property, now you can see the border is removed from this particular text area. Then we need to provide the minimum height. So minimum height is going to like 220 pixel. 220 pixel, then we want to actually remove this so that we can actually avoid this resizing of this particular like text area. So for that we need to use here a resize property of the text area to none. If I control save it, you can see it's actually resized. If I refresh it, you can see it's actually come back to its default width and also the height. After specifying the resize property, we need to use the padding. So if I enter here some text, you can see it's actually very at the edge of the text area. So we want to apply some padding also. So I want to apply a 10 pixel padding. If I now control save it, you can see now there is a padding between these text and the edge of the text area. Alright, this is the padding property inside the note taking application of the text area. Okay, and then we need to use the font size. So font size, I want to actually display in the 16 pixel, and then we want to display the text in a form of white. Okay, white text. If I control save it, now you can see the text is actually white, but if I select it, you can see the text. So we want to change the background color of this note text area. So the first thing is we want to actually apply the overflow hidden. Okay, so if there is anything, then it's going to hide the overflow area of the thing. Then we need to use the background color. So background color is like 393E46. You can see now the background color is applied. Alright, and then we need to actually apply the another property, which is the border radius. So border radius, we want actually 0 pixel because we don't want to apply the border radius from every side. If I just apply a property like 20 pixel border radius, you can see we will actually ended up with this particular output. So we don't want that one. We want the rounded border from just only at the left and from the right bottom, means from the left bottom of the note taking area, which is the text area, from the left bottom, and from the right corner of from the bottom side. Okay, and this is actually 0 pixel, then 0 pixel, then 10 pixel, and then also a 10 pixel. If I control save it, you can see we get these particular rounded corners of the text area. You can see, and you can see here. Alright, so that is what we actually achieved here. And then we need to add the transition. So I'm going to copy the transition code like from this one and coming back to here and pasting it. Then I'm going to copy this one also and pasting it here, closing its block of the code. And then we need to use this pseudo class element like hover, and inside of that we need to use the background color. So it is going to copy, paste it, and here inside of that what actually we want to do, we want to change the color. So it is like 29 and 3E46. Alright, if I control save it, now if I hover it, you can see the color is actually changing inside the text area. Next thing, we want actually whenever we are inside, then we actually want to avoid the outline. So for that we need to actually use another property. Just in some cases in some browser this property may can cause a problem, means in just only for the UI part. So we need to set the focus state of the text area to none, not auto, none. Control save it. Now if I remove the text, you can see this is what we actually ended up. It will almost look like similar to this particular one, which is the final version of the application. This is our version of the application that we are actually developing in this entire module. So yeah, that is for the CSS part for the note taking application. So from the next video onwards, we're going to start with the JavaScript part for the note taking application.